Hello everyone, and you're very welcome back to Projectatron, the prediction site with a difference. We're here looking at NFL Week 3, and Week 3 brings us the return of last year's Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos at Seattle Seahawks. Rory, how do you see this one going?
I don't see it being a repeat of the Super Bowl in terms of the scoreline. We all remember what happened there. It was 43-8 to Seattle. Complete demolition of Denver. That's not going to happen this time, even though the game is at CenturyLink Field, when Seattle's 12th man, giving them an extra presence on the field. I see this game being a lot tighter, to be honest. I still see a fair few touchdowns going in. Peyton Manning will want revenge. All the Broncos will want revenge. The Seahawks will want to bounce back after a defeat against the Chargers at the weekend as well. So,
do you think Richard Sherman's been exposed?
No, I don't think so. No, I think Sherman will want to bounce back as well. He's still a pretty good cornerback, so
he's solid.
I'll take him to my team, I still see him being a problem for the Broncos. He's very good at taking out whoever he's put on anyway, so that's not going to be an issue. The issue, of course, will probably be the noise level again at CenturyLink Field, and seeing how Peyton Manning can deal with that. But because so much of his calls he's so vocal. He's a quarterback where he can really get his message across, and it might just be really, really difficult there. But the Broncos they'll do their thing. They'll go in. There'll be a lot of short passes, a lot of powerful running, and that said, they are playing Seattle at home, and Seattle are just so strong at home over the last couple of years, and they still have their ultimate weapons. They have Russell Wilson. They have Marshawn Lynch. Well, they lost their best receiver from last year in Golden Tate, but I still see them grinding out a victory here. And I mean, it won't affect either team too much because
it's Week 3.
Exactly. Yeah, I know it's a big game, but if it won't be a defeat that is bitter unless you get something like the Hail Mary from a couple of years ago when Green Bay came to Seattle. I think Seattle are going to win this game. I think it'll be maybe 5 touchdowns between the teams, so it'll be maybe 24-14 or 24-17 to Seahawks.
Okay. Yeah, the over-under on this game is, what do we say, 49.5 points?
49.5, yeah.
I think it's safely going to be under it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be comfortably under 49.5 points. The interesting thing for me is that after this week's agreement between the NFL Players Association and the league on new drug testing regimes, Wes Welker, who was suspended after unknowingly or possibly knowingly taking something at the Kentucky Derby, he's now gotten his suspension lifted, and he's available to play in this game. And by all accounts, he's been practicing, and he's been fit. He had a little bit of a scare in the last week of preseason when he got concussed, or in the first week of the season when he got concussed, and that's now gone. So he's fit to play. So this will be the first time in competition that we'll actually get to see the Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Wes Welker triumvirate. Now, in the first couple of weeks of the season, we've seen Denver being a little bit more conservative, running the ball and playing more of the short passes than you were referring to earlier. And I think a bit of that might have to do with the fact that they only had one deep threat. They only had Demaryius Thomas going deep, and then after that, they could play it short to Julius Thomas. They could play it to Emmanuel Sanders. Sometimes he was playing a lot in the slot. With the return of Welker, I think they're going to be looking at 2 legitimate outside receivers, and still Welker in the slot, and still Thomas coming off the tight end position or being lined up out wide for mismatches. So I think Peyton is going to try and throw at his Seattle defense. And I agree with you, Seattle are going to come out on top because Peyton has shown that you can't throw against a Seattle defense, especially in Seattle. The noise level is going to be a huge factor. You're right. The Broncos rely so much on changes at the line of scrimmage, and I think that the Broncos are also going to suffer because I'm not certain they're going to be able to stop the run. I think Seattle have to return to the run this game. They have to use Marshawn Lynch. They have to use Turbin. And they're going to have to try and put it up the gut of the Broncos a lot more because Broncos are very, very strong on the edge. And Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware are going to have a job. They're going to be tasked with just containing Russell Wilson. So I think that with the Broncos missing a couple of players on linebacker and having a kind of a soft interior on the defensive line, the opportunity for Seattle is definitely going to be there to just run it up the middle. and that's going to be how they're going to be successful. Of course, the corollary of that is that if you have a lot of running plays up the middle, you're not going to score lots of points, but you're going to take a lot of time off the clock. That feeds into our low scoring prediction.
Yeah.
I think maybe 5 touchdowns might even be a little bit optimistic. I could see this being a kind of a 14-10 sort of a game, really just grinding out the clock for Seattle. Either way, it's way under the 49.5.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even the Super Bowl, ridiculous as it was, that it was just over 49.5.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't think anybody expected Seattle to go that high and Denver to go that low either. It was
no, and even then though, a large part of that was special teams.
Exactly, yeah.
So these are things you can't legislate for, but I would assume that Seattle are going to keep the ball, they're going to run the ball, they're going to run down the clock, and they're going to take the scores where they can get them. And that's why it's going to be low scoring. It's going to be way under the 49.5 points, and Seattle to win under the points. What about Projectron?
Projectron agrees with us, except it reckons it's going to be even more of a grind. Projectron gave a 13-7 victory, but to Denver, scoring a winning touchdown in overtime following a Marshawn Lynch touchdown to give Seattle the lead, which Denver broke down with a Monty Ball touchdown. The game went to overtime, and Peyton Manning led the charge up the field, and Richard Sherman exposed at cornerback as Sanders caught the winning touchdown.
Okay, so there you have it. Our predictions are that it's definitely going to be underneath the points average. 49.5 points, you go below. Myself and Rory, we think it's going to be Seattle take the victory, but Projectron going with an overtime win for the Broncos. That's us.
Okay.
Don't forget to join us next week for more NFL Projectron, and don't forget to check out our Premier League Projectron as well. We look forward to seeing you then, and enjoy the football.